Hi everyone, it's Laurie Ellison from Hudson Valley Bookkeeping. I'm going to teach you how to track your properties, either a rental unit or different locations via tags, classes, or as creating them as like a sort of job costing by unit. I'll be sure to set up different timelines in the description so that you can jump ahead if there's a certain thing that you're looking for. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hi everyone. I just finished editing my video for tracking projects using classes or tags. And I just want to say, if I were you, I would skip ahead way past all of the project tutorials. I found in the end that it was just very annoying. It's really too hard, and if you're I don't think it really works well for landlords. I use projects for other clients that aren't landlords, but I found just even trying to teach it that you should probably just skip ahead. And I'm just going to preface with, to use classes or projects, I had to upgrade my QuickBooks file to the $80 version to QuickBooks Online Plus, which I don't think is really necessary. QuickBooks Essentials is fine, and then you would just use tags to be able to track the income and expenses for your different units. The other preface to all of this is I learned with tags, I think it's better not to group them. So if you did have two buildings, try and keep all your units ungrouped. You'll see that in the video, but just want to save you a lot of time. There's 20 minutes of me fumbling around in projects. I made 2 whole new videos thinking I had it figured out, and I just really wouldn't recommend it for landlords. I also think an extra $30 a month to use classes is probably not worth it. I think the tags feature, it's newer in QuickBooks Online. It's great. And for any landlord, especially a self-managing landlord, you're on top of your expenses. So I think you're more just kind of looking for certain things. I think you could be fine with tags. Just as I kind of played around with that piece, I found out in the video, as you'll see, it's better not to group them. You could have 30 units, and you could always pop it, export it to Excel, and play around that way. If you group your tags, then you can't, you can only run one group at a time. That's the benefit of classes. You can put multiple classes in your report or leave some out. So, but that costs you $30 a month. So, all right, here comes the video, but I put lots of banners in saying, I think you should just skip ahead. Go to see how it works with classes. Maybe you're already in Online Plus. And if not, just use tags. I think tags will work fine for you and save you a little money. And I think they're great. All right. I hope you find this video helpful. So let's make a building. We're going to call it Building 100. Okay, see where it says is a sub-customer? So we're going to go back. Sub-customer is like a job for job costing. So we could have a building, and then within the building, we could have tenants, okay? So I have other tenants set up here. Let me just show you one other thing. Customer labels, we can click here. I'm sorry, I went into the gear icon on the right. And I just came down to advanced settings, and I am changing that. So now it says tenants. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I made building 100. What is going on? Tenants. So I'm going to make a new tenant, and it's going to be a subtenant, building 100. And here, let's just, we're going to call this, I shouldn't use the same names. Bob Smith. And then I need unit 105, right? They're in building 100 and his unit is 105. A. And you go back to here, I can click this little plus sign right here. I always want to use Bob, Jane. I'll do Sally. I always want to use the last name Jones. My maiden name is Bond. I use that a lot. Okay, and then I say is a subtenant, and I pick building 100. Bill with parent, bill this tenant. So actually, let me go back. Oh, I like in the name to put the unit. Okay, so now let me go back to Bob, click edit. I don't want to bill with the parent. I want to bill down in the other piece. Okay. All right, so let's make an invoice. Actually, let's make it easier. So we'll just do a sales receipt. So see how it shows the building, and now you can pick Bob underneath it. I'm just going to pick anything because I'm going to show you this drop costing. So that's Bob Smith. And let's do the second one. Sally. I realized I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do. And part of the issue is to do this one way of tracking your expenses is you would have to upgrade to Online Plus. So let me show you how you do that. So this would be essentially job costing in QuickBooks Desktop, but they call it project. So you would have to be in Online Plus to do classes, which is good. And you would also have to be on that to track projects, I believe. Because according to track inventory, cost of goods and more, create purchase orders, classes and locations. Okay. We'll go up to $80 a month. Okay, so if you don't see projects when you sign up, or if you have to upgrade to track classes and or projects, you're going to go over to the gear icon on the right, click account and settings, click down on the left, advanced. We can look at these next, locations and classes. The other way would be to do projects. Click Save. So see how it shows you can track expenses and items by tenant, and say okay. In the end, I'll show you the cheapest way to track things. But okay, so I showed you we created a building and then 2 units within the building. So this was sort of like your location, because your tenant can change the name of the tenant and we could create a new unit. But 105A, that unit would always be the same. Okay, as tenants come and go. Okay, so then I could do my other 107B. Okay, so by having projects turned on, anytime we put this unit on any transaction, it will show up here, showing your income and your cost. So now let's go back. All right, so we can see right here, if we're posting a transaction, we can put it to project or unit 105A. Like, and do you see how these are also projects? Any tenant that I've made in the past, I just was doing these. Okay, so here we are looking at the project section, and you can see in one of these for Bob Smith, we have 1,200 in income. This is unit 105A, and 6270 is an expense, right? So you could run a unit and check the profitability as different things happen. This piece of this video, I'm going to teach you about projects and how to set up tenants and track money in and money out on each unit. Okay, so go up here to sales. I changed this. It could say customers. I made mine tenants. And we're going to just go with this premise of 2 units. You can keep going. You can make 2 buildings. I made 1 building, and I have unit 105A and I have 107B. Okay, so you want to leave your unit whole. So let's create a subtenant of 105A, because for the first 6 months you could have 1 tenant and then the name could change. So that's another thing to think about, is you want to keep your parent, like right, building 100 is the building, but you could have 30 units. I'm only going to show it with 2. I'll make myself one. And I'm going to be a subtenant, and my parent would be 105A. And here I could have 105A, right? So I'm a subtenant of 105A. So let's go back to tenants. Let's do a new tenant. Now I want to pick 107B. Okay, so we've got now 105A and 107B. It's probably better. I usually like to put the unit with people's names. Sometimes they move, like from one of your units to a different one. Okay. So now we have 1 building We have 2 units and we have 2 tenants. Hope you're following. Now I turned on and upgraded to much higher. I had to go to not essentials, but Online Plus. That allows the classes and this project tracking, which is, it's basically job costing, but in QuickBooks Online, they call it project tracking. Okay, so then what you will have is a thing over here called projects. You're gonna go here, new project. So first we could have, I honestly just say, pick unit 105A. Do units, don't get it too high. And hopefully, you know, you're only gonna really should only have one LLC in each QuickBooks, okay? 105A. Because what everybody's asking me is, how do I track individual cost of like one thing versus another, right? So we've got 105A, and then we have 107B. But notice here, I'm not picking my name, I'm picking this, right? So let's go back and check the other one. 107B is linked to the parent 107B because someone else could come and rent that from me. So let's just check. Clicking edit. No, I don't see the tenant now. Okay, so we've turned on projects. We've created a tenant, like our actual customer. And now what you could do is, let's say you went to the Home Depot. See here, it says tenant project. Just pick the big piece. Project of unit. Guess it's doing it that way. Save and close. Okay, and then we'll do another one. Lowe's. Again, we'll pick 107B, but pick project piece, okay? Apparently you could just pick your customers here, but I already made the project, so. Okay. Here we go to tenants. So it looks like I didn't even have to make the projects. They would have just shown up. So let's try that out too. Let me make a new tenant. And there it is. So actually, if you try, I wasn't wrong. 109, you have to create. So you have to create the project and link it to the tenant. I was thinking maybe I was making things too complicated and I was creating an additional step. Okay, since I didn't have my project there before, see, it didn't show anything I had in 109. So we have this one for 105. Okay, so let's look at 107. Right now it shows we have nothing going on. So let's go to tenants. Oh, I didn't make anything. Okay. So we've got the tenant up here. So let's pick project though. Now let's stick it like that. Let's go check 107. It's not working. I have to pick project. Okay, so you definitely have to pick the project. So anytime your name changes, make sure you create a project and link it to that tenant. Unit 109 says nothing. Let's see if there's any activity. So this unit 109 is not part of the, you always have to hit project. So it's unit 109 colon unit 109. Okay, so now it's showing that. So let's just set this up one more time. Let's first do our project first. I think that's a smarter way to do it. Oh, see here. So new project, unit 115. Tenant, add new. Unit 115. Okay, so we have Cindy. So now I've named the project and I've linked it, but I really want to link it up to the top. So I think that's the deal. You create the customer, you create your building, then you create your units. Then you put your names of your individual people inside of the unit. So as their name changes, right? So let's say here is unit 120. And I should not have named that Misty Smith. This should just be unit 120. Okay, so now let's, so it gets a little confusing, right? See, so this says subtenant, this says project. I want to pick, I have to pick up here Misty, because she's the tenant. I don't know. Unit 115. So I made a project for unit 120. Okay, here we go. But I still needed to pick this, which bothers me. So let's just look at this again. 105A. The sales receipt. I don't like this. Honestly, I've just talked myself out of this. Okay, we're going to talk about class tracking, which I think is much easier than I'm trying to use projects. So I just went to the gear icon, and you'd want to put on track classes. The other thing is we could try track locations. So let's first do this. Okay, so you just create classes on the fly. So this is unit 105A. This one was 107B. This is so easy. And this is probably, I think, one of the easiest ways. Then I'm just going to go up to a couple of the recent transactions, and I'll do 105A, 105. And what we're doing is they basically are just tagging each thing. Well, these are $0. Just want to do one more so you can see. Okay, so this is super easy. Do a profit and loss by class. Oh, QuickBooks, please. Okay, so profit and loss by class. And then you can see all this is transactions I didn't classify. And here was one like Home Depot. So you can have all of your units classed out. It's really simple. You can run a P&L. Now let me just show you the other thing you could do for free, even in a lower version. Is there's a tag. So we had this being 105A. You could just tag it. I really like the tag. I don't really understand the difference between the tag and the class. So to me, this is cheaper. You don't have to upgrade to this really high level. But I think it does have a little bit less reporting. So we had this be 107B. Let's see the difference. And look, you could put it in a group. Okay. Okay, so let's go see what we can get in tag. Profit and loss by tag. I mean, I think this is great. So you could be in the low version and have tags, I believe. And you could still run a profit and loss. Now, even better, let me just see something. Tags. Let's see if we can create a group. Ungrouped. New. Tag group. Building 100. Save. Add. Let me just go back to tags. Edit tag. Group building 100, save. Building 100, save. New tag group, let's do building 200. Add tags, 205. 210. Okay. Let me just go and randomly put some other things. Let's just tag a couple of things and see what it does. Here we had class. We're going to go 205. Close. To 10. Just pick a couple expenses. I don't really have very much. To 10. Okay. This just seems so much easier than that profit and loss by tag group. So here you could do building 100, building 200. Doesn't look like you could put them all together. So let's just do profit and loss by tag. Maybe by grouping them, I screwed that up. Oh, okay. Let's go back to our tags. So maybe you don't want to have the group. So it seems like it's better to keep them individual. Because when I grouped them, everything changed. So we 105 and 107 tags and tag groups. New tag group. Let's just see, building, save. We're going to leave the other one out. Yeah. Oh, this is by ungrouped, where you could go building 100. But then you don't get to see the, oh, wait. Tags. Let's just try this again. Building 200, or different color. So we could add this one to building 200 group. Save. This is so much better than projects. Projects were good for another client I have. It's in a totally different business. Definitely not for tenants. Okay. Let's go to reports. By tag group. Oh, This is why it's not working. Look over here. I have display columns by ungrouped tags. Can I select multiple? Building 200. Okay, so then when you're running it though, you can run anything in that building, but you can't then run all the units. So if you don't group them, everything can show up. If you make a group for each building, then you can only do it that way. I wish they had a different tag. They only have that for that. Let's see, tag. Translation by tag group. Huh. So this is good if you want to run a P&L for a separate one, save a lot of money on your subscription, and then you would be able to tell all your income and expenses by unit. Just be careful, if you do add them to a group, you can't see every unit in one whole report. But I like the tags. I would use it. It's so much easier than the project. It's cheaper than classing. You can keep your QuickBooks Online subscription down. It's definitely what I would recommend. All right. Thank you.